Initially I started cycling when I started gaining a little bit of weight after my second child, my boy, and from then, which was 12 years ago, I've cycled ever since, to and from work on a regular basis. So that's about 7 miles there, 7 miles back, but luckily it's all flat. I started cycling before I was diagnosed with an underactive thyroid, way before, about 8 years before I think, because I was gaining weight. And obviously I thought I should really be doing more exercise. I started developing quite bad depression symptoms, which I went to the doctor for, and they gave medication for that, which I took for a while, and I started feeling better, so came off that medication. The general being at work and forgetting things and being really tired that you couldn't finish the day and still having to cycle home afterwards. I don't actually know how I managed. I was extremely tired, which I put down to having a baby. Even though he was my second child, I didn't feel as tired with my first, but as time went on and he was at school, he'd go to school, I'd take him to school, then I'd come home and I'd basically crawl up the stairs, set my mobile phone, my alarm, to wake us up just before I had to pick him up, and I'd spend the day in bed. That should have been a trigger to go to the doctor, but I didn't really put it down to anything. They gave me a list of the symptoms and I said, well, yeah, I've had all of them. So I had weight gain, tiredness, cold hands and head and feet, itchy skin, just general slowness of mind, you know, when you can't concentrate. And because it's such a gradual disease, the doctor told me that I could have, and my levels were really high, that I could have had it for a longer period of time. But she immediately put me on a course of levothyroxine. She started off at a low dose, which they do. Well, they did constantly get my blood tested and assess the levels, swap it, change it. So I was aware that there was action there. I think if I hadn't had the miscarriage, that I would probably still be struggling. But being perhaps younger at the time, it kind of gradually caught up on us, and the second pregnancy perhaps triggered something. The doctor said possibly would have contributed towards it. It does make sense because the growing fetus doesn't have enough thyroxine from me to develop, and it's just one of them things that babies need to develop and grow. But it is a case of just if you know someone in your family that's got an underactive thyroid, get tested yourself, and especially if you're trying for a baby. Because if that is one of the contributing factors, then I wouldn't want anyone to go through that. I started taking the medication immediately as diagnosed, and I do believe within about 6 months, within about a month, I started feeling less tired. I went on holiday and I came back and I felt amazing. I was taking the medication regular, and I'd say the coldness, the itchiness, the tiredness had all gone within about 4 to 6 months. And now it's been 4 years since I was diagnosed, and they're still trying to tweak the levels. So I get a blood test every 6 months, and every time I've had a blood test, they've had to alter the levels that I take. I've gone up and down, and it's never been as bad as before the medication, but it's just getting the levels right. And the doctors have been really good at my local surgery to try and, you know, get a stable level for me. So at the moment, it's been fine for the last 6 months, and I'm feeling better than ever.